Welcome, everyone. We are here tonight for our One Book, One Night program, and today we are going to be going over Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. We're going to be reading that opening selection there. My name is Lisa. I'm with the Tampa-Hillsborough County Public Library.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa, and I am also with the Tampa-Hillsborough County Public Library.
We're so glad that you could join us this evening. So go ahead and get settled in. As I mentioned before, we're going to be reading this story, or the opening selection of it, in English and Spanish tonight. What are going to be our two languages tonight.
So we're going to have a lot of fun here, as we always do on these Friday nights. And we will have also a discussion at the end. So keep this question in mind. So we will talk about it after we do our reading today. What qualities do the old man and the boy bring to their own friendship and to each other's lives? And we also want to know, in addition to the relationship between the two characters in the story, what relationships do you have that remind you of the relationship we're reading about now with Ernest Hemingway's Old Man and the Sea? Can't wait to hear what you guys think of the relationship between the old man and the young boy. So again, think about that as we read, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. So I'll move on now.
Absolutely. So we're going to get started with our first poll question just to get you warmed up here. So the first one we have is, how much do you know about the story of the Old Man and the Sea? I'll launch that up there so you can vote on here. Go ahead and chime in, let us know. Have you read this story before? Did you like it? Did you maybe, you can also respond in the question box if you have a little something to expand on that thought. Or have you maybe heard of it but just haven't had a chance to read it yet? Maybe this is the first time you've heard of this story and you're getting a little taste of it tonight, and you'll pull that up on our library app and finish reading it in one sitting. Let us know. So, looks like all of our audience has already responded. We've got 100% of you sharing that, and the result is it's a story. I like it already, and I know the general idea. So it looks like everyone is, in general, familiar with it and has at least read part of it or knows about it. So that's exciting. It's nice to revisit stories that are classics that might be near and dear to our hearts, but it's also nice to finally dig into a story that maybe we've heard about but have not yet had a chance to pick up. So this will be fun.
Very nice, absolutely. Well, I guess without further ado, we're going to turn our cameras off here, you guys, so that y'all can see the screen better, focus on the reading, so that we can focus on the reading too. We really hope you enjoy, and we will see you again afterwards for the discussion portion.
He was an old man who fished alone in a skiff in the Gulf Stream, and he had gone 84 days now without taking a fish. In the first 40 days, a boy had been with him, but after 40 days without a fish, the boy's parents had told him that the old man was now definitely and finally salao, which is the worst form of unlucky, and the boy had gone at their orders in another boat, which caught 3 good fish the first week. It made the boy sad to see the old man come in each day with his skiff empty, and he always went down to help him carry either the coiled lines or the gaff and harpoon and the sail that was furled around the mast. The sail was patched with flour sacks and furled. It looked like the flag of permanent defeat.
Sad times. All right, let's hear that in Spanish now. Era un viejo que pescaba solo en un bote en el Gulf Stream y hacía 84 días que no cogía un pez. En los primeros 40 días había tenido consigo a un muchacho. Pero después de 40 días sin haber pescado, los padres del muchacho le habían dicho que el viejo estaba definitiva y rematadamente salado, lo cual era la peor forma de la mala suerte. Y por orden de sus padres, el muchacho había salido en otro bote que cogió 3 buenos peces la primera semana. Entristecía al muchacho ver al viejo regresar todos los días con su bote vacío, y siempre bajaba a ayudarle a cargar los rollos de sedal o el bichero y el arpón y la vela arrollada al mástil. La vela estaba remendada con sacos de harina y, arrollada, parecía una bandera en permanente derrota.
The man was thin and gaunt, with deep wrinkles in the back of his neck, the brown blotches of the benevolent skin cancer the sun brings from its reflection on the tropic sea were on his cheeks. The blotches ran well down the sides of his face, and his hands had the deep creased scars from handling heavy fish on the cords. But none of these scars were fresh. They were as old as erosions in a fishless desert. Everything about him was old except his eyes, and they were the same color as the sea, and they were cheerful and undefeated. Santiago, the boy said to him as they climbed the bank from where the skiff was hurled up. I could go with you again. We've made some money. The old man had taught the boy to fish, and the boy loved him.
El viejo era flaco y desgarbado, con arrugas profundas en la parte posterior del cuello. Las pardas manchas del benigno cáncer de la piel que el sol produce con sus reflejos en el mar tropical estaban en sus mejillas. Esas pecas corrían por los lados de su cara hasta bastante abajo, y sus manos tenían las hondas cicatrices que causan la manipulación de las cuerdas cuando sujetan los grandes peces. Pero ninguna de estas cicatrices era reciente. Eran tan viejas como las erosiones de un árido desierto. Todo en él era viejo, salvo sus ojos, y esos tenían el color mismo del mar y eran alegres e invictos. Santiago, le dijo el muchacho, trepando por la orilla donde estaba quedando parado el bote. Yo podría volver con usted. Hemos hecho algún dinero. El viejo había enseñado al muchacho a pescar y el muchacho le tenía cariño.
No, the old man said. You're with the lucky boat. Stay with them. But remember how you went 87 days without fish, and then we caught big ones every day for 3 weeks. I remember, the old man said. I know you did not leave me because you doubted. It was Papa made me leave. I'm a boy and I must obey him. I know, the old man said. It's quite normal. He hasn't much faith. No, the old man said. But we have, haven't we? Yes, the boy said. Can I offer you a beer on the terrace and then we'll take the stuff home? Why not? The old man said. Between fishermen.
El viejo había enseñado al muchacho a pescar y el muchacho le tenía cariño. No, dijo el viejo, tú sales en un bote que tiene buena suerte. Sigue con ellos. Pero recuerde que una vez llevaba 87 días sin pescar nada y luego cogimos peces grandes todos los días durante 3 semanas. Lo recuerdo, dijo el viejo, y yo sé que no me dejaste porque hubieses perdido la esperanza. Fue papá quien me obligó. Soy al fin chiquillo y tengo que obedecerle. Lo sé, dijo el viejo, es completamente normal. Papá no tiene mucha fe. No, pero nosotros sí, ¿verdad? Sí, dijo el muchacho. ¿Me permite brindarle una cerveza en la terraza? Luego llevaremos las cosas a la casa. ¿Por qué no? Dijo el viejo. Entre pescadores. Okay, hopefully you guys are enjoying, disfrutando right now our program. We want to take a little short break to showcase something that you can do to continue the experience after the program. I'd like to highlight our digital collections. You can visit it at digitalcollections.hcplc.org. They have got the art and artifact collection online where you can see close-up, high-quality pictures of the art and artifacts that we have across our many branches, along with some information about them. I think you'd probably find something very interesting there, probably some old favorites that you've seen, or some that are in branches that are in other parts of the county that perhaps you haven't seen yet. So I really urge you guys to visit the digital collections. There's a lot of other things there too, of course, including stories from people, oral histories that are 5 minutes long and very interesting, community members. And of course, please also visit our branches. We have some great things there, including a rotating display of famous authors. Right here is Maya Angelou. And we have some resident Mer people and very colorful staff members who are happy to tell you about our art, happy to tell you about our programs. So please continue the experience, whether it's online or whether it's at the branches. We would love to see you guys there.
And on that note, I'm getting ready to start another poll for us to vote on. And we thought we'd highlight one of the artists that was recently at the North Tampa branch, Mike Hamlin. He still has a collection there, but this particular image shows the Hemingway piece that he had exhibited there. So that's exciting and very, very on theme. We're going to launch that here and see what you all thought of the art collections that we have in the library. Have you seen any there that might be in the branches? Have you had a chance to browse the digital collection? Have you maybe walked past it and weren't sure what it was, where it came from? Or maybe it's just not your thing. The visual arts are not so much your jam. So go ahead and
Maybe
vote.
you're
Let
more
us
of a
know.
fisherman.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we're getting those votes in. We'll give it just another moment here. And all right, let's see what the audience says. Ooh, looks pretty evenly spread. I guess we all love the arts. Yeah, looks like some folks have had a chance to see it in person, and yeah, I like
That
that.
makes
I
a
like
lot
that
of sense to me.
we're all here sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, after all, we are all listening to a work of art right now, so I guess I'm not too surprised, and I'm really pleased to get those results.
Absolutely. All right, now that we've had a little mini break for resting our reading voices, we're going to jump right back in it. They sat on the terrace, and many of the fishermen made fun of the old man, and he was not angry. Others of the older fishermen looked at him and they were sad, but they did not show it, and they spoke politely about the current and the depths they had drifted their lines at, and the steady good weather and of what they had seen. The successful fishermen of that day were already in and had butchered their marlin out and carried them laid full length across two planks, with two men staggering at the end of each plank, to the fish house where they waited for the ice truck to carry them to market in Havana. Those who had caught sharks had taken them to the shark factory on the other side of the cove, where they were hoisted on block and tackle, their livers removed, their fins cut off, and their hides skinned out, and their flesh cut into strips for salting.
Se sentaron en la terraza. Muchos de los pescadores se reían del viejo, pero él no se molestaba. Otros, entre los más viejos, lo miraban y se ponían tristes, pero no lo manifestaban y se referían cortésmente a la corriente y a las ondas donde se habían tenido sus sedales, al continuo buen tiempo y a lo que habían visto. Los pescadores que aquel día habían tenido éxito habían llegado y habían limpiado sus agujas y las llevaban tendidas sobre dos tablas, dos hombres tambaleándose al extremo de cada tabla, a la pescadería, donde esperaban a que el camión del hielo las llevara al mercado, a La Habana. Los que habían pescado tiburones los habían llevado a la factoría de tiburones, al otro lado de la ensenada, donde eran izados en aparejos de polea. Les sacaban los hígados, les cortaban las aletas y los desollaban y cortaban su carne en trozos para salarla.
Santiago, the boy said. Yes, the old man said. He was holding his glass and thinking of many years ago. Can I go out to get sardines for you tomorrow? No, go and play baseball. I can still row, and Rogelio will throw the net. I would like to go. If I cannot fish with you, I would like to serve in some way. You bought me a beer, the old man said. You are already a man. How old was I when you first took me in a boat? 5, and you were nearly killed when I brought the fish in too green and he nearly tore the boat to pieces. Can you remember?
Santiago, dijo el muchacho. ¿Qué? Dijo el viejo. Con el vaso en la mano pensaba en las cosas de hacía muchos años. ¿Puedo ir a buscarle sardinas para mañana? No, ve a jugar al béisbol. Todavía puedo remar y Rogelio tirará la atarraya. Me gustaría ir. Si no puedo pescar con usted, me gustaría servirlo de alguna manera. Me has pagado una cerveza, dijo el viejo. Ya eres un hombre. ¿Qué edad tenía cuando me llevó por primera vez en un bote? 5 años, y por poco pierde la vida cuando subía aquel pez demasiado vivo que estuvo a punto de destrozar el bote. ¿Te acuerdas?
And we're ready for our next poll. Give us another little mini break here. Let's see about your hobbies, and if maybe, what do you think of fishing as a hobby? Is it something you've tried before? Maybe you're curious about it but haven't actually tried it yourself yet. Or maybe you're a regular angler and you head out to the pier and maybe fish from shore, maybe fish farther out in the Gulf. Do you love it, or is it just not your thing? Go ahead and vote on that. Let us know where you're at, what you're thinking. If you like to get out there. Now, for me, I've never done any kind of ocean fishing, but I've done some freshwater fishing many years ago. But I've done that a couple of times. But no, never been out to the deep water like the old man. All right, looks like we've got our responses in. And again, we've got a fairly even spread again. So it sounds like our audience is pretty across the board today with all options open.
That's
We've
great
got
to
some
hear.
folks who are curious, some folks who have done it a couple of times, and some who are it's absolutely their jam. So that's fun.
I mean, that seems pretty on the record. We have a lot of diverse people here in Hillsborough County in our libraries every day, so it's great to hear that you guys are the same way.
Yeah. And we're all brought together with some fun stories. So we're going to go ahead and pick right back up here. I can remember the tail slapping and banging and the thwart breaking and the noise of the clubbing. I can remember you throwing me into the bow where wet coiled lines were and feeling the whole boat shiver and the noise of you clubbing him and chopping a tree down and the sweet blood smell all over me. Can you really remember that or did I just tell it to you? I remember everything from when we first went together. The old man looked at him with his sunburned, confident, loving eyes. If you were my boy, I'd take you out and gamble, he said. But you are your father's and your mother's, and you're in a lucky boat.
Recuerdo cómo brincaba y pegaba coletazos y que el banco se rompía y el ruido de los garrotazos. Recuerdo que usted me arrojó a la proa, donde estaban los sedales mojados y enrollados. Y recuerdo que todo el bote se estremecía y el estrépito que usted armaba dándole garrotazos, como si talara un árbol, y el pegajoso olor a la sangre que me envolvía. ¿Lo recuerdas realmente o es que yo ya te lo he contado? Lo recuerdo todo desde la primera vez que salimos juntos. El viejo lo miró con sus amorosos y confiados ojos quemados por el sol. Si fueras hijo mío me arriesgaría a llevarte, dijo, pero tú eres de tu padre y de tu madre y trabajas en un bote, que tienes suerte.
Tomorrow is going to be a good day with this current, he said. Where are you going? The boy asked. Far out to come in when the wind shifts. I want to be out before it is light. I'll try to get him to work out far, the boy said. Then, if you hook something truly big, we can come to your aid. He does not like to work too far out. No, the boy said, but I will see something that he cannot, such as a bird working, and maybe get him to come out after dolphin. Are his eyes that bad? He's almost blind. It is strange, the old man said. He never went turtling. That is what kills the eyes.
Con esta brisa ligera, mañana va a ser un buen día, dijo. ¿A dónde piensa ir? Le preguntó el muchacho. Saldré lejos para regresar cuando cambie el viento. Quiero estar fuera antes de que sea de día. Voy a hacer que mi patrón salga lejos a trabajar, dijo el muchacho. Si usted engancha algo realmente grande, podremos ayudarle. A tu patrón no le gusta salir demasiado lejos. No, dijo el muchacho, pero yo veré algo que él no podrá ver. Un ave trabajando, por ejemplo. Así haré que salga siguiendo los dorados. Tan mala tiene la vista. Está casi ciego. Es extraño, dijo el viejo. Jamás ha ido a la pesca de tortugas. Eso es lo que mata los ojos. All right. So we're going to take another short break for you guys. I really do hope that this is some interesting and exciting information. I know it is for me. Every month I go to Canopy, I watch movies, I watch documentaries, award-winning things. You can go there on hcplc.org/research. Click on K. You can access Canopy. It is a streaming service free with your library card. And what is more, you can access the great courses, unlimited number of episodes in a great course. I personally took the Black Death great course that had over 20 episodes, and there was no limit to how many I could watch a month. And maybe for you all, since you are here, you might be interested in learning Spanish. We have Learning Spanish 1 and 2. These are, again, the great courses taught by professors in their fields, experts in their fields. Perhaps you'd be interested in the great courses Meaning of Life, with all the philosophies that give our life meaning, different ways that people make sense of being here on this earth. Or maybe you would be interested, like the old man who's still in really good shape here, how to stay fit as you age. I know that that's a topic that would be interesting to all of us, since we're all heading in that direction, right? So whatever you choose to do, I hope that you will check out Canopy if you haven't yet. And I am certain you would find something in the great courses collection on Canopy to stream. So happy watching, maybe even after you finished the program today.
We do love binging some knowledge.
Yes.
But you went turtling for years off the Mosquito Coast, and your eyes are good. I am a strange old man. But you are strong enough now for a truly big fish? I think so, and there are many tricks. Let us take the stuff home, the boy said, so I can get the cast net and go after the sardines. What do you have to eat? The boy asked. A pot of yellow rice with fish. Do you want some? No, I will eat at home. Do you want me to make the fire? No, I'll make it later on, or I may eat the rice cold. May I take the cast net? Of course.
Pero usted ha ido a la pesca de tortuga durante varios años por la costa de los mosquitos y tiene buena vista. Yo soy un viejo extraño. Pero ahora se siente bastante fuerte, como para un pez realmente grande. Creo que sí, y hay muchos trucos. Vamos a llevar las cosas a casa, dijo el muchacho. Luego cogeré la atarraya y me iré a buscar las sardinas. ¿Qué tiene para comer? Preguntó el muchacho. Una cazuela de arroz amarillo con pescado. ¿Quieres un poco? No, comer en casa. ¿Quiere que le encienda la candela? No, yo la encenderé luego, o quizás coma el arroz frío. ¿Puedo llevarme la atarraya? Desde luego.
There was no cast net, and the boy remembered when they had sold it, but they went through this fiction every day. There was no pot of yellow rice and fish, and the boy knew this too. 85 is a lucky number, the old man said. How would you like to see me bring in that dressed out over 1,000 pounds? I'll get the cast net and go for sardines. Will you sit in the sun in the doorway? Yes, I have yesterday's paper, and I will read the baseball. The boy did not know whether yesterday's paper was a fiction too, but the old man brought it out from under his bed. Berrico gave it to me at the bodega, he explained. I'll be back when I have the sardines. I'll keep yours and mine together on ice, and we can share them in the morning. When I come back, you can tell me about the baseball.
No había ninguna atarraya. El muchacho recordaba que la habían vendido, pero todos los días pasaban por esa ficción. No había ninguna cazuela de arroz amarillo con pescado y el muchacho lo sabía igualmente. El 85 es un número de suerte, dijo el viejo. ¿Qué te parece si me vieras volver con un pez que en canal pesará más de 1,000 libras? Voy a coger la atarraya y salir a pescar las sardinas. ¿Se quedará sentado al sol a la puerta? Sí. Tengo ahí el periódico de ayer y voy a leer los partidos de béisbol. El muchacho se preguntó si el periódico de ayer no sería también una ficción, pero el viejo lo sacó de debajo de la cama. Perico me lo dio en la bodega, explicó. Volveré cuando haya cogido las sardinas. Guardaré las suyas junto con las mías en el hielo y por la mañana nos las repartiremos. Cuando vuelva me contará lo del béisbol.
Do you think we should buy a terminal of the lottery with an 85? Tomorrow it is the 85th day. We can do that, the boy said, but what about 87 of your great record? It would not happen twice. Do you think you can find an 85? I can order one. One sheet. That's $2.50. Who can we borrow that from? That's easy. I can always borrow $2.50. I think perhaps I can too, but I will not try tomorrow. First you borrow, then you beg.
¿Crees que deberíamos comprar unos billetes de la lotería que terminan en 85? Mañana hace el día 85. Podemos hacerlo, dijo el muchacho, pero ¿qué me dice su gran récord, el 87? No podría suceder 2 veces. ¿Crees que puedas encontrar un 85? Puedo pedirlo. Un billete entero. Eso hace 2,50 pesos. ¿Quién podrá prestárnoslos? Eso es fácil. Yo siempre encuentro quien me preste 2,50 pesos. Creo que yo también, pero trato de no pedir prestado. Primero pides prestado, luego pides limosna. All right, so I'm very happy and excited to share with you the next thing because next week is actually going to be Archives Awareness Week with the City of Tampa. And of course, you guys are all here with the library and we have a lot of archives. If you go to hcplc.org/archivesawareness, and it is linked on the page, you'll see all of next week we do have some amazing events, such as the Sanborn online map events. My house, for example, is in the old maps of the city of Tampa from the turn of the last century, and it is beautiful to see those old maps. We also have pictures of Tampa Bay's beaches. We have a searchable archive of Burgert Brothers photography. They're famed photographers who documented a lot of early Florida history. This is our history that we all share together as a community. So I'm very excited, and hopefully you guys can all take advantage of the wonderful events. We also have some live events, such as at the Robert Saunders Library. We have some artifacts that you can see from our archives showcased there. And of course, we also have a photography recreation contest where you can take a look and find a Burgert Brothers photograph that you like, such as the one that you see on your screen right here of a man reading a book, recreate it in the modern day, and send it in for a chance to win a Burgert Brothers photograph of your very own. You can select your own print. So that sounds like a fun and creative thing to do. I'm giving you guys the cliff notes. This man who is standing there in the library stacks looking at a book, I think a lot of our patrons could definitely recreate this photograph. So live events, online events, the whole shebang with Archives Awareness Week. I know it's black and white, but it is definitely a fun time.
I do love those recreations. They're a lot of fun.
Stay tuned. You'll see one soon coming up in this program, actually.
Keep warm, old man, the boy said. Remember, we are in September. The month when the great fish come, the old man said. Anyone can be a fisherman in May. I go now for the sardines, the boy said. When the boy came back, the old man was asleep in the chair and the sun was down. The boy took the old army blanket off the bed and spread it over the back of the chair and over the old man's shoulders. They were strange shoulders, still powerful, although very old, and the neck was still strong, too, and the creases did not show so much when the old man was asleep and his head fallen forward. His shirt had been patched so many times that it was like the sail and the patches were faded to many different shades by the sun.
Abríguese, viejo, dijo el muchacho. Recuerde que estamos en septiembre. El mes en que vienen los grandes peces, dijo el viejo. En mayo cualquiera es pescador. Ahora voy por las sardinas, dijo el muchacho. Cuando volvió el muchacho, el viejo estaba dormido en la silla. El sol se estaba poniendo. El muchacho cogió la frazada del viejo de la cama y se la echó sobre los hombros. Eran unos hombros extraños, todavía poderosos, aunque muy viejos, y el cuello era también fuerte todavía, y las arrugas no se veían tanto cuando el viejo estaba dormido y con la cabeza derribada hacia adelante. Su camisa había sido remendada tantas veces que era como la vela, y los remiendos descoloridos por el sol eran de varios tonos.
All right, take another quick poll break here. And we want to know what you think about the Archives Awareness Week. So about that photo we just saw and the collections there, have you maybe used our archives before? But how are you going to celebrate that this week? Are you going to search maybe for a story that you can reenact for that challenge? Maybe hit up one of the online events like you are tonight, or maybe go to one of the branches and see the artifacts in person. Let us know how you're participating in the celebration coming up. I'm pretty excited. I always love to see the pictures that come out from this kind of challenge. I love seeing the historical black and white pictures and then the juxtaposition of us in our modern setting, making that happen again. All right, looks like we've got our votes in, and this will come as a shock to no one, but our audience is spread absolutely evenly once again. So it looks like our audience is going to maybe read a book from the list, hit up an online event, and maybe see some of the stuff in the branches. So that's exciting. I see nobody voted that they're going to participate in the reenactment challenge. I urge you to reconsider. Those are a ton of fun.
Ooh, well, I will say that if I could have voted in the poll, I would have said participate in that reenactment in addition to the other wonderful things. If you guys see on the screen, actually, we had a lot of fun recreating one of the photographs. So we have this photograph right here of a Pentecostal minister with a snake. We just thought it was so dynamic and interesting. And so we had enough people to recreate and redo it in the modern day in black and white. Thanks, everyone. Can't wait to see what you all do for your archives awareness. And speaking of the book list, there are some wonderful books there about how to preserve your own history. So however you do celebrate, can't wait to hear all about it in the branches. Let us know.
The boy left him there, and when he came back, the old man was still asleep. "Wake up, old man," the boy said, and put his hand on one of the old man's knees. The old man opened his eyes, and for a moment he was coming back from a long way away. Then he smiled. "What have you got?" he asked. "Supper," said the boy. "We're going to have supper." "I'm not very hungry." "Come on and eat. You can't fish and not eat." "I have," the old man said, getting up and taking the newspaper and folding it. And then he started to fold the blanket. "Keep the blanket around you," the boy said. "You'll not fish without eating while I'm alive."
El muchacho lo dejó allí. Cuando volvió, el viejo estaba todavía dormido. Despierte, viejo, dijo el muchacho, y puso su mano en una de las rodillas. El viejo abrió los ojos y por un momento fue como si regresara de muy lejos. Luego sonrió. ¿Qué traes?, preguntó. La comida, dijo el muchacho. Vamos a comer. No tengo mucha hambre. Vamos, venga a comer. No puede pescar sin comer. Habrá que hacerlo, dijo el viejo, levantándose y cogiendo el periódico y doblándolo. Luego empezó a doblar la frazada. No se quite la frazada, dijo el muchacho. Mientras yo viva, no saldrá a pescar sin comer.
"Then live a long time and take care of yourself," the old man said. "What are we eating?" "Black beans and rice, fried bananas, and some stew." The boy had brought it with him in a two-decker metal container from the terrace. The two sets of knives and forks and spoons were in his pocket with a paper napkin wrapped around each set. "Who gave this to you?" "Martin, the owner. I must thank him." "I thanked him already," the boy said. "You don't need to thank him." "I'll give him the belly meat of a big fish," the old man said. "Has he done this for us more than once?" "I think so." "I must give him something more than the belly meat, then. He is very thoughtful for us."
Entonces vive mucho tiempo y cuídate, dijo el viejo. ¿Qué vamos a comer? Frijoles negros con arroz, plátanos fritos y un poco de asado. El muchacho lo había traído de la terraza en una cantina. Traía en el bolsillo 2 juegos de cubiertos, cada uno envuelto en una servilleta de papel. ¿Quién te ha dado esto? Martín, el dueño. Tengo que darle las gracias. Yo ya se las he dado, dijo el muchacho. No tiene que dárselas usted. Le daré la ventrecha de un gran pescado, dijo el viejo. ¿Ha hecho esto por nosotros más de una vez? Creo que sí. Entonces tendré que darle más que la ventrecha. Es muy considerado con nosotros.
"I'm ready now," the old man said. "I only needed time to wash." Where did you wash? The boy thought. The village water supply was 2 streets down the road. I must have water here for him, the boy thought, and soap and a good towel. Why am I so thoughtless? I must get him another shirt and a jacket for the winter and some sort of shoes and another blanket. Your stew is excellent, the old man said. "Tell me about the baseball," the boy asked him. "In the American League, it is the Yankees, as I said," the old man said happily. "Who is the greatest manager, really, Luque or Mike Gonzalez?" "I think they're equal. And the best fisherman is you."
Ya estoy listo, dijo el viejo. Solo necesitaba tiempo para lavarme. ¿Dónde se lavaba?, pensó el muchacho. El pozo del pueblo estaba a 2 cuadros de distancia, camino abajo. Debí de haberle traído agua, pensó el muchacho, y jabón y una buena toalla. ¿Por qué seré tan desconsiderado? Tengo que conseguir otra camisa y un jacket para el invierno y alguna clase de zapatos y otra frazada. Tu asado es excelente, dijo el viejo. Háblame del béisbol, le pidió el muchacho. En la Liga Americana, como te dije, los Yankees, dijo el viejo muy contento. ¿Quién es realmente el mejor manager, Luque o Mike González? Creo que son iguales. Y el mejor pescador es usted.
"No, I know others better." "Que va," the boy said. "There are many good fishermen and some great ones, but there's only you." Thank you. You make me happy. I hope no fish will come along so great that he will prove us wrong. There is no such fish if you are still strong as you say. I may not be as strong as I think, the old man said, but I know many tricks and I have resolution. You ought to go to bed now so that you will be fresh in the morning. I will take things back to the terrace. Good night, then. I will wake you in the morning. Hear my alarm clock, the boy said. Age is my alarm clock, the old man said. Why do old men wake so early? Is it to have one longer day?
No, conozco otros mejores. ¿Qué va? Dijo el muchacho. Hay muchos buenos pescadores y algunos grandes pescadores, pero como usted, ninguno. Gracias, me haces feliz. Ojalá no se presente un pez tan grande que nos haga quedar mal. No existe tal pez si usted es tan fuerte como dice. Quizás no esté tan fuerte como creo, dijo el viejo, pero conozco muchos trucos y tengo voluntad. Ahora debería ir a acostarse para estar descansado por la mañana. Yo llevaré otra vez las cosas a la terraza. Entonces, buenas noches. Te despertaré por la mañana. Usted es mi despertador, dijo el muchacho. La edad es mi despertador, dijo el viejo. ¿Por qué los viejos se despertarán tan temprano? Será para tener un día más largo.
He was asleep in short time, and he dreamed of Africa when he was a boy, and the long golden beaches and white beaches, so white they hurt your eyes, and the high capes and the great brown mountains. He lived along that coast now every night, and in his dreams he heard the surf roar and saw the native boats come riding through it. He smelled the tar and oakum of the deck as he slept, and he smelled the smell of Africa that the land breeze brought at morning. He no longer dreamed of storms, nor women, nor of great occurrences, nor of great fish, nor fights, nor contests of strength, nor of his wife. He only dreamed of places now and of the lions on the beach. They played like young cats in the dusk, and he loved them as he loved the boy. He never dreamed about the boy.
Se quedó dormido enseguida y soñó con África, en la época en que era muchacho, y con las largas playas doradas y las playas blancas, tan blancas que lastimaban los ojos, y los altos promontorios y las grandes montañas pardas. Vivía entonces todas las noches a lo largo de aquella costa, y en sus sueños sentía el rugido de las olas contra la rompiente y veía venir a través de ellas los botes de los nativos. Sentía el olor a brea y estompa de la cubierta mientras dormía y sentía el olor de África que la brisa de tierra traía por la mañana. No soñaba ya con tormentas, ni con mujeres, ni con grandes acontecimientos, ni con grandes peces, ni con peleas, ni competencias de fuerza, ni con su esposa. Solo soñaba ya con lugares y con los leones en la playa. Jugaban como gatitos a la luz del crepúsculo y él les tenía cariño lo mismo que al muchacho. No soñaba jamás con el muchacho, simplemente despertaba, miraba por la puerta abierta.
The door of the house where the boy lived was unlocked, and he opened it and walked in quietly with his bare feet. The boy was asleep on a cot in the first room, and the old man could see him clearly with the light that came in from the dying moon. He took hold of one foot gently and held it until the boy woke and turned and looked at him. The old man nodded, and the boy took his trousers from the chair by the bed and, sitting on the bed, pulled them on. The old man went out the door, and the boy came after him. He was sleeping, and the old man put his arm across his shoulders and said, I'm sorry. Que va, the boy said. It is what a man must do.
La puerta de la casa donde vivía el muchacho no estaba cerrada con llave. La abrió calladamente y entró descalzo. El muchacho estaba dormido en un catre en el primer cuarto, y el viejo podía verlo claramente a la luz de la luna moribunda. Le cogió suavemente un pie y lo apretó hasta que el muchacho despertó y se volvió y lo miró. El viejo le hizo una seña con la cabeza, y el muchacho cogió sus pantalones de la silla junto a la cama y sentándose en ella se los puso. El viejo salió afuera y el muchacho vino tras él. Estaba soñoliento y el viejo le echó el brazo sobre los hombros y dijo, lo siento. ¿Qué va? Dijo el muchacho, es lo que debe hacer un hombre.
They walked down the road to the old man's shack, and all along the road in the dark, barefoot men were moving, carrying the masts of their boats. How did you sleep, old man? The boy asked. He was waking up now, though it was still hard for him to leave his sleep. Very well, Manolin, the old man said. I feel confident. So do I, the boy said. Now I must get your sardines and mine and your fresh baits. He brings our gear himself. He never wants anyone to carry anything. We're different, the old man said. I let you carry things when you were 5 years old.
Marcharon camino abajo hasta la cabaña del viejo, y todo a lo largo del camino en la oscuridad se veían hombres descalzos portando los mástiles de sus botes. ¿Qué tal ha dormido, viejo?, preguntó el muchacho. Ahora estaba despertando, aunque todavía le era difícil dejar su sueño. Muy bien, Manolín, dijo el viejo. Hoy me siento confiado. Lo mismo yo, dijo el muchacho. Ahora voy a buscar sus sardinas y las mías y sus carnadas frescas. El dueño trae el mismo nuestro aparejo. No quiere nunca que nadie lleve nada. Somos diferentes, dijo el viejo. Yo te dejaba llevar las cosas cuando tenías 5 años.
The boy was back now with the sardines and the 2 baits wrapped in newspaper, and they went down the trail to the skiff, feeling pebbled sand under their feet, and lifted the skiff and slid her into the water. Good luck, old man. Good luck, the old man said. He fitted the rope lashings of the oars onto the thole pins, and leaning forward against the thrust of the blades in the water, he began to row out of the harbor in the dark.
El muchacho estaba de vuelta con las sardinas y las 2 carnadas envueltas en un periódico, y bajaron por la vereda hasta el bote, sintiendo la arena con piedrecitas debajo de los pies, y levantaron el bote y lo empujaron al agua. Buena suerte, viejo. Buena suerte, dijo el viejo. Ajustó las amarras de los remos a las toletas y echándose adelante contra los remos, empezó a remar, saliendo del puerto en la oscuridad. All right.
Time for our last poll here. So we want to know, before we get into the deep discussion, just what you thought of this piece of writing so far. What did you think? What stood out the most to you? What did you like the most? The sentences, their construction. I like they're short in snippets if you go by the commas, but if you go by the sentences, they can be pretty long from beginning to the period. Or how about the setting, the fishing village in Cuba? The writer, are you a big fan of Hemingway? Or is this more about the characters for you, the older person, the younger person, and their dynamic? Or you're not sure yet. You've just gotten that first little bite, and you'll see as you read it yourself and finish up what you thought. So let us know. I think we've got most of our votes here. We'll give it just another moment. And let's see what the audience thinks. Oh, not as evenly spread on this one. So we've got some that are leaning pretty strongly in the middle. 67% are really just big fans of Hemingway. They like this one. They like all of his writing. We've got some folks that like the structure of it, his manner of writing, his technique. And some just aren't sure yet. They've got that little nibble of this story, and they might see later on as they finish it up. So yeah. How about you, Miss Melissa?
Oh, for me, I think reading it out loud gave me an appreciation for some of the sentences, actually. So I think that's what struck me the most, probably this time around. So that's what I enjoyed the most. What about you,
I did.
Lisa?
I like the structure as well.
Very nice. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and pop back up on screen and see you guys.
Dun, dun, dun. There we go.
You have been here the whole time. Thank you for sticking with us. We're so glad. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. I know that I did. I'm sure that Lisa did too. She's got a smile on her face. And so we want to know a little bit about what you thought. If you were with us from the very beginning, we did say that there was going to be a discussion at the end. And if you see it on your screen right now, we do have our question on there. So basically, what kind of qualities did their own relationship? What does Chicago bring into the relationship to the friendship?
So, Miss Melissa, you're breaking up a
clearly
little bit
known
on
each other for a
my
long
end.
time.
So I'll just let the folks at home know if you're having any trouble hearing us here. For the discussion question, if you want to start typing your response into that question box and the GoToWebinar menu, you might see it on the right-hand side. If you're on a mobile device, it'll look like a little question mark. So if you tap on that, you can type in your response there. So the discussion question is, what qualities do Santiago and the boy bring to their friendship and each other's lives? Have you ever had that same kind of a relationship with anyone? What are your thoughts on that? So we'd love to hear what you think. And hopefully Miss Melissa can come back soon. Sometimes our technology is not always cooperative. So while she's working on getting herself back on camera, we can start talking. So yeah, go ahead and start typing in there. And let's see if we have anything. There we go. I can see you again, Miss Melissa.
Hey everyone,
Welcome
sorry
back.
about that. Yeah, it's just, sometimes the connection online, we all know and experience that from time to time. So
Technology is fun.
yes, I'm
All
sure that
right.
our
So
people will
we're
today.
we're, we're talking about the relationship, that connection between Santiago and Manolo. What did you think? I thought it was very sweet, the care that the boy had for him.
Yeah, absolutely. So we saw him offering all sorts of services and all sorts of attention and for one, we definitely saw the old man accepting them but still able to kind of keep his pride, which
Yeah,
was obviously something that was very important for him. So I think that was a little bit of something that the boy saw. And I think we've got some comments here that we
yeah.
can take a look.
And
So
it was sweet that the boy, when he did lend his aid, he did it in a way that was very clearly tactful
very
and
much so.
meant to let the old man keep his pride.
Very much so. And I mean, the boy really learned so much from the old man, even starting from when he was young. I mean, he
Yeah.
learned all of his fishing from him. He probably learned a lot of life lessons. And we do have a comment here from our audience. Experience from elders can sometimes feel like been there, done that, but the young man enjoys the consistency of his stories and keeps the old man engaged in life. Absolutely. I mean, we're all a community. It takes a village to raise someone. It also takes a village to take care of people once they are a bit older as well. That's a
Yeah.
lovely comment. Thank you for sharing.
It really is. And I love how our audience member points out that the consistency that the old man provides in the boy's life. A lot of times we might groan at hearing that same story for the 10th, 15th, 20th time. Um, but there is something very sweet and magical and consistent about that in a boy that we don't know what his home life is like right now, at this point in the story. Maybe he doesn't have that kind of consistency from a family member. Yeah, and our
Yeah,
audience points out the old man is almost like a grandpa.
yes. And that story of taking him out for the first time, it did kind of sound like a fairy tale of sorts with all of the
Mhm.
vivid details. It was kind of a recitation.
Yeah,
Probably like many people have heard their grandparents tell them stories, whether they're fairy tales or something from when they were first born. We all
yeah.
enjoy hearing things like that. Okay, that's very nice.
And
If
it's
anyone has,
sometimes sweet when you have that dynamic with an older person in your life, where when you, as the person hearing the story, you know what the chain of events is in the story, when you can kind of maybe get them excited about telling you something else, where you can go, oh, hey, I heard about this. Well, what if this other thing? And they can go, aha, I have a story about that. When you can kind of guide them into that sort of retelling and get them excited for it. That's fun. And I have a feeling that's that same kind of dynamic there, where the boy knows what the old man needs and can kind of guide him into that with the tell me about this, old man.
yeah, and I wonder too, speaking of the grandpa that our audience member shared with us, I wonder if anyone was reminded of, that sort of a relationship in their life. I know my grandmother is 90 some years old, and I always feel like, giving her some of the creature comforts, putting a blanket on her or listening to her when she tells her very eventful life story. That to me is a little bit of the reminder, as well as some people in my life who have taught me craft and have taught me how to do specific manual things. That's
Yeah.
really a treasure that older people give to younger people in their lives.
Yeah, and but by that same token, the boy gives a lot to the old man in terms of that motivation, that impulse to keep going and to keep doing his thing.
That's great. And someone also said that My husband and I work with many seniors, and they have the best stories to share. Absolutely true. It's absolutely true. You know, you get a few good stories out of a year, and just imagine how many stories you will have when you get up there in years. It's kind of exciting to think
And you
about.
also have to very much appreciate about how that filter drops sometimes with the seniors telling their stories.
Yes, I, I really appreciate that. And you know, sometimes we see it too in the library when folks come in and they want to tell us their stories, and we're always happy to listen. And it's just very much sort of a give and take. You get so much enjoyment out of hearing it, and they get so much enjoyment out of giving that. So I think we witnessed that a lot in The Old Man and the Sea. And it is one of the sweeter aspects of the story that I had kind of forgotten about, I confess, until we were preparing this program today.
Yeah, I had this story. I had read it in high school. It was either high school or freshman college maybe that we read it, and I have a different memory of it than how I approached it this time. I definitely tuned into the sweeter elements more reading it, now in my 40s versus in my teens. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and we have
that's how our perspective changes with time as we see with these characters.
absolutely. And you know, we have other audience members who chimed in and said that they're also in their 40s. And we have someone who said, I learned a lot from mom and grandma by observing them cooking, greeting relatives, and tidying up. And thank you both for the session. I needed it. Just enjoying literature. I appreciate it. And someone has a question too. So if I think we can probably move on from the discussion, please feel free to continue typing if you are. We'll definitely get to your comments. Someone does have a question about Canopy and how to learn Spanish. So we have a lot of different resources about learning Spanish. On Canopy, we do have the great courses. There's language learning for children on Canopy Kids. And if you're a little bit older, we have Canopy, the great courses. They have Spanish 1, they have Spanish 2. So when you go into Canopy, you can type in some sort of a keyword search, great courses Spanish, for example, and those will pop up. And there will be different episodes in the series. So you can start with episode 1, and it will kind of go through and help you learn. I would also recommend other things such as watching some of the Spanish language movies that are on Canopy, because there's a lot of international cinema on Canopy,
And
and
you
you
can
can
watch
put
those
those
with
on.
subtitles on, as your language skills improve and you've learned some through the great courses, or maybe use the Mango language app to learn some beginning Spanish. And as you gain that confidence, watching the movies in their original language, maybe with the subtitles on, just to get you through those parts where maybe the speaking's just a little too fast for you to keep up, is another really great way to practice and learn your language skills.
Yes, the key is definitely try the different things we have, see what you like, see what you don't like. Canopy is just one of the tools that we have, but I do hope that you were inspired to check that out. The great courses are a wonderful resource for everybody. There's really something for anyone. There's yoga, there's the Black Death, there's women's history,
Yeah.
ancient Egypt, you name it, it's there. Award-winning college professors. So check that
Respected
out.
scholars. If
Yes,
you pop
yes,
over to our next slide, Ms. Melissa,
yes, absolutely.
I was going to say, if you have any questions after the program when we're not live about how to get to some of these tools and resources, maybe you just can't remember where we said to go, where we have the contact the library on there. If you go to hcplc.org/contact, that has all of our information on there, how to get a hold of us, including the Ask a Librarian function. If you click on that Ask a Librarian function during daytime business hours, one of us in librarians, it's going to be a local person. It's not like a central call center where it might be someone in Minnesota answering. This is our local Tampa Hillsborough County Library staff. They will chat with you on the chat. They can talk to you by text message. And it's a great way to follow up, say, hey, I was in this online class. They said there's a way to learn Spanish, and I can't remember what they said. And they can totally hook you up with the links and the resources and where to go. So if you're not able to make it into a branch, pop on there, and we're still able to get that information to you. So yeah, hcplc.org/contact has all the information on there, as well as our phone number, 813-273-3652, if you want to chat with us. Either one will get through to us. And yeah, we have the button on there about tell us your stories. We'd love to hear back from you. And after this is over, we will also, you'll get that a survey in your inbox. Let us know what you thought of tonight's program. Let us know if you have any ideas, for a future program. You're like, hey, I've been going to all these one book, one nights. You know what a really good one will be to do? Feel free to suggest. We love hearing what you would want to see covered during these programs. Yeah, let us know what you thought. Let us know what you would like to see, how we're doing. And check out the rest of our summer programs in Branch and online. So for the rest of July. So we'd love to see you for those as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And Lisa, thank you so much for reading with me too. It's been a blast as always. See you at the next One Book, One Night. Hopefully see all of you guys at one of our branches or in our online programs.
We'll see everyone soon. Bye, friends.
Bye, everyone. Take care.